Your favorite Neil Diamond songs tell stories of happiness and celebration, filling stadiums with hits like Sweet Caroline and America. But what happens if the man behind those songs, a legend who toured for 50 years, suddenly can't perform anymore? What if his mighty voice, once unstoppable, now faces a silent, unyielding foe? This story explores his early struggles, the battles he fought in his career, the rough patches in his relationships, and most of all, the painful reality of living with Parkinson's today. It shows how someone who built an empire on sound finds peace in quiet moments, and how his biggest challenge has become a lesson in accepting change. Neil Diamond grew up in Brooklyn, New York. His childhood was not stable. His father, a dry goods merchant, moved the family often to stay close to new stores opening nearby. By the time Neil finished high school, he had gone to 9 different schools. These constant moves made it hard for him to settle in. The repeated upheavals must have taken a toll. A young boy with no steady place to belong, facing the difficulty of making new friends each time. This instability likely made him feel like an outsider and a loner. It also pushed him inward, creating an inner world where he found comfort and a way to express himself. These early experiences shaped his music and emotional style. Before singing about being a lonely man, Neil had learned how to reflect on his feelings. That reflection became the heart of many of his songs. Everything changed when Neil was 16. He went to Surprise Lake Camp, a Jewish summer camp in upstate New York. There, he saw folk singer Pete Seeger perform. Seeger's raw voice and honest style struck a chord with Neil. Watching other kids sing their own songs inspired him too. He realized he could write music as well. He got a guitar, started lessons, and soon began writing songs. Music became his way to hold on to his feelings and frustrations. Neil first studied fencing at New York University on a scholarship. He also tried a pre-med course. But his true passion was in music, not medicine or sports. He found school dull, and his mind constantly drifted to melodies and lyrics swirling inside him. He preferred writing songs and desperately wanted to get them published. In 1960, he dropped out of college and rejoined in a commerce program after a year, but left for good in 1965. His final departure was prompted by Sunbeam Music Publishing, offering him a 16-week job writing songs for $50 a week, roughly $530 in 2024. His early years as a songwriter were tough. He faced rejection after rejection for 8 years and struggled to sell his first songs. At times, he earned barely enough to survive, spending only 35 cents daily on food. He wrote wherever he could, even on buses, and found a quiet spot above the Birdland Club in New York City. He poured himself into his lyrics, making them long and wordy, but publishers mostly wanted simple hooks that sold easily. His first hits, like I'm a Believer, were sung by other artists like the Monkees, before he performed his own versions. This period shows a recurring struggle in Neil Diamond's early career, balancing his artistic vision with the commercial needs of the music world. A natural songwriter with a deep desire for heartfelt expression, the industry pushed him toward simple, market-friendly pop. His fight for creative control and recognition of his unique voice forced him to become more determined and helped shape his later independent path. Neil Diamond's early success, though celebrated, was marred with problems. He signed with Bang Records in 1966, quickly scoring hits like Solitary Man and Cherry Cherry. Yet he soon felt stifled by the label's expectations. He wanted to make more personal, introspective music like Brooklyn Roads, but the label pushed for simple pop songs. They even rejected his heartfelt song Shiloh for not being commercial enough. His dissatisfaction extended to royalties, leading to a long, messy legal fight that ended in 1977. He fought to end his contract and regain rights to his early tapes. During this struggle, his sales and fame slipped. His fight for creative freedom became a big part of his identity as an artist who refused to be held back. In 1980, Neil Diamond took a bold step into movies. He starred in The Jazz Singer, a remake of the 1927 film. He took the role partly to honor Al Jolson, his childhood idol. He also wrote the entire soundtrack, a huge challenge for someone with no acting background. The film was not a hit. Critics called his performance narcissistic and silly, but the soundtrack was a huge success. It sold over 6 million copies in the U.S. and had 3 top 10 singles: America, Love on the Rocks, and Hello Again. He even got a Golden Globe nomination and won the first Razzie Award for Worst Actor. Despite the poor reviews, the soundtrack's success changed his career. Neil Diamond's talent and his strong bond with fans proved so powerful that they overcame critics' harsh words about his acting debut. Before filming, he underwent surgery to remove a spinal tumor and spent months in a wheelchair. Despite this, his role became a personal victory over hardship, even if critics did not praise the film. Neil has sold over 130 million records worldwide and fills arenas with fans who adore him. Still, he often felt like he didn't belong. He called himself a solitary man, a theme that runs through many of his songs, especially the deeply personal hit, I Am, I Said. Inside, he battled loneliness, self-doubt, and feelings of being cut off, even with his fame and popularity. He described himself as private and said he often felt disconnected from the image he carefully created as a performer. Writing I Am, I Said took him 4 months. He said the process drained every emotion, forcing him to face questions about who he was and where he belonged, despite his success. Neil admitted feeling empty inside, even after reaching his biggest dreams. He also said that fear comes from being uncovered, as everyone puts on a facade. This shows a deep paradox in his life. Fame and admiration sat alongside loneliness and self-doubt. His music, often raw and honest, became a way to share these struggles, making him relatable to millions. Yet he felt separate from the image he projected. That facade hints at the pressure to keep up appearances, which likely made his private pain worse. His search for peace inside shows how fame can take an emotional toll. It also reminds us that everyone craves real connection, something fame can't always provide. Neil Diamond's personal life was full of ups and downs. He was married 3 times. His first wife was his high school sweetheart, Jay Posner. They married in 1963 and had 2 daughters, Marjorie and Ellen. Their marriage lasted a few years. They split in 1967 and divorced in 1969. There's no clear reason given, but that time lined up with tough early years for Neil. He struggled to sell songs, signed with Columbia Records and was dropped, and fought with Bang Records. Later, he said he felt guilty for not being with his kids more because of his busy touring schedule. He also admitted that music often took up his time and that he didn't have much left for his family. Looking back, he saw that all the effort to get into music left little room for a happy marriage. In 1969, Neil married his second wife, Marcia Murphy, a production assistant he met during his rise. They had two sons, Jesse and Micah. Neil's marriage lasted for 25 years, a major part of his life story. In 1994, Marcia filed for divorce, claiming they had irreconcilable differences. The settlement was huge, about $150 million at that time, which is over $300 million now, making it one of the most expensive divorces ever. Despite the financial hit, Neil publicly said Marcia was worth every penny. It showed they weren't bitter during the breakup. Still, he carried deep guilt about their failed marriage and about not being there enough for his children because of his non-stop touring. To deal with these feelings, he went to therapy for years. He learned to open up and understand his own inner struggles. Therapy helped him let go of guilt and take responsibility. It gave him peace and helped him stop tormenting himself over the past. In 2011, Neil found new love at age 70 when he announced his engagement to Katie McNeil, his manager, who was 41 at the time. They married in Los Angeles the next year. Though almost 30 years apart in age, Neil said he felt like he was in his 30s or 40s. Katie initially had doubts about dating a client, but their chemistry was clear. Neil joked about being very high maintenance and said he finally found someone who could handle that, his wife. After he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, Katie became an unwavering support for him. She helped him face a tough new chapter in his life. In 2018, Neil faced his biggest challenge. Just before his 77th birthday, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. This illness affects the nervous system and makes movement, balance, and speech harder. The news hit him hard and shocked his fans, too. His symptoms quickly became clear. His doctors then told him he had to stop doing big concerts. He had to cancel the rest of his 50th anniversary tour. He announced this with sadness and regret. It was a hard moment. A performer who had spent decades entertaining audiences worldwide suddenly had to end his stage career. Fans watched as he bowed out after so many roaring shows. Parkinson's is a disease that gets worse over time. It slowly kills nerve cells in the brain that control movement. These important cells in the brain produce dopamine, a key chemical that helps control smooth, coordinated movements. When dopamine drops, the body's ability to move properly starts to weaken. Early signs might be small and easy to miss, but gradually become more noticeable. You may notice a resting tremor, a shaking that can get worse from stress. Movements slow down, a condition called bradykinesia. Balance problems can develop, causing shuffling steps and increasing fall risk. Limbs may become stiff and hard to move, making simple tasks difficult. For a singer like Neil Diamond, these symptoms pose a tough challenge. His strong voice and lively stage presence, which have thrilled audiences for years, are directly affected by the disease's progress. Parkinson's can also change speech, causing it to become softer, slurred, monotone, or mumbled. Issues caused by poor muscle coordination, known as hypophonia. Swallowing and chewing can become harder, and handwriting may grow cramped. Beyond physical issues, many with Parkinson's experience emotions like apathy and depression, adding more struggles to daily life. While Neil keeps his personal challenges private, it's clear the disease makes daily tasks harder and greatly affects his ability to work. His career, once built on grand performances, now faces a threat, pushing him to accept a new reality where his body no longer responds as before. The choice to step back from touring, even though he can still sing well, shows how deeply the disease affects his work. The high-energy shows he once did are no longer possible. This pushed him to find a new way to connect with his music and his fans, outside of big stages. Neil admitted he first denied the diagnosis. For a year or two, he refused to see how serious it was. He told his doctor, "I have work to do, I'll see you later," avoiding the truth. He said, "Coming to terms with Parkinson's was very hard. And even years later," he added, "I'm still dealing with it, and I don't like it." That honesty shows how heavy the emotional toll can be. It's a tough fight inside, battling a force you can't defeat. Still, amidst that struggle, Neil found a surprising calm. He described it as a stillness moving into his life, like the quiet of a recording studio. This emotional journey from denial to acceptance has helped him find peace inside. Despite the physical limitations imposed by Parkinson's, Neil Diamond has found a deeper sense of contentment and self-awareness. He now expresses that he likes himself better and is more forgiving of others as well as himself. Neil Diamond has learned to appreciate his blessings more fully, acknowledging that his successful music career did not always bring him true fulfillment. He has come to the understanding that there is no cure for Parkinson's, and he has learned to accept his limitations while still experiencing great days and expressing gratitude for his life. This highlights that true well-being goes beyond physical capabilities and external success, often arising from confronting and accepting life's toughest realities. Although he has retired from large-scale touring, Neil Diamond continues to write, record, and engage in his passion for music, adapting his creative process to his current capabilities. At 84 years old, he still finds joy in singing, describing it as a feeling of harmony between his mind and body. Medical experts emphasize the importance of continuing hobbies that spark joy for individuals with neurodegenerative disorders, as it helps maintain their identity, purpose, and physical and mental health. In a poignant moment, Neil Diamond made a surprise appearance at the Broadway musical A Beautiful Noise in 2022, leading the audience in a heartfelt sing-along of Sweet Caroline. He also uses his platform to raise awareness about Parkinson's disease and support vital research efforts, with unwavering support from his wife, Katie McNeil. Neil Diamond's enduring financial success reflects his lasting impact, with his net worth still estimated at around $300 million. His journey stands as a testament to human resilience, as he has faced numerous challenges throughout his life and continues to find new ways to pursue his passions and contribute meaningfully to the world. Neil Diamond remains a solitary man who found his voice and now finds a different kind of strength and peace in quiet acceptance.